Okay, welcome everybody. Let's talk about what happened in the market today. First, we're going to look at a trade I made. This was really just the only trade I made for the entire day. I've been really busy last 2-3 days at the job, so I couldn't trade much, but I managed to squeeze this trade in on a break. $775. And some of you may ask, well, how's it possible? This was one trade. I traded 2 E-mini contracts. How did I time this trade so well if it was just one trade of the day? What was going on? We're going to talk about that. All right, and we'll look at the charts as we always do, the weekly, the daily, and the trades of the day. Okay, so let's get started with the video here. All right, we're looking at the hourly chart now. You know, I don't show this too often to the public because this chart is reserved for members, but occasionally I do put it out for a little promo, so that's what we're doing here, okay? So how did I make that $775 today? Let's take a look at the cycles that I had lined out here. So for those that are not familiar with cycle analysis, here's a cycle right here. This is just an element of time that runs from left to right, yeah? So this is obviously in the past this way, yeah? And we forecast forward. Here's another big cycle here. There's another yellow one, right? And you can see as we continue on, there's going to be another cycle that's forecasted if things don't change, which at the moment, based on what I'm seeing here, these cycles are not going to change. So there's another cycle here tomorrow. Okay, it's a freebie for everybody. Okay, everybody's getting a freebie for tomorrow. 12 o'clock, noon, Texas time. That's what that cycle low is right there. Okay, there's also one overnight because futures trade 23 hours a day at 4 a.m. Okay, so guess what I'm going to do for the members? I'm going to move, I'll take something like this. Matter of fact, I'll do it right now. This is what I do for the members all the time, guys. Okay, I'm going to activate this. I'm going to put it over here. Okay, I'm going to change this and say, hey, this is 4 a.m. Okay. Now stick with me because this is really important. I'm going to show you something. And then this one I think I said was 12. So we'll grab this. We will, you know what, let me duplicate this. I want to leave it on there for now. I'll duplicate it. We'll put it over here. About right there. Okay. One last check to make sure it really is 12. Yep. 11:59 a.m. Close enough. Call that 12. Okay. And this becomes 12. Okay, and this goes out in an email. Well, this part doesn't. This chart is streamed live to the members. So they just jump on the service on the Discord server and they click on the streaming channel. And this is one of the charts they get. They get 3 charts, but this is one of them that they get. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this chart. There's also another little green cycle right here. You'll notice. All right. And actually, let me just put this back over here as a duplicate because I had this here just a moment ago, but because I want to keep this on there so we can talk about it. Okay, this is actually 12 like that. Okay, so you can see that, you know, for those who are not familiar with cycle analysis, if something's forecasted in the future at these X's, that's very helpful, right? If you think that there's going to be some type of event at these points in the future, that's helpful. Now, these cycles normally tell us that there's going to be a cycle low, meaning we expect price to decline into these, where these cycle lows are at, okay? All right, so that's the theory. Does it work? Yeah, it works a lot, very often. Not always, but often. Well, let's talk about, let me clear the screen for a second. Let's talk about this cycle low last night, 8 o'clock. 2000 hours is 8 o'clock, okay, my time. So there was, soon as the future started, we're here at 5 o'clock, because they start at 5 o'clock every night. I went ahead and set up the cycle here and put in the labels here for the members. And I did this last night, and I said, well, there's going to be a cycle low at 8 o'clock. Let's check, let's confirm it. Now, this has been sitting here. These times have been sitting there since last night, all of these times. I did it over here at 5 o'clock. So it isn't like I waited for the market to do it and then put the labels in there. Okay, I did it before that. And members can testify to that too. You can always ask them if you become a member. All right, so was there a cycle low at 8 o'clock? Let's do it together. This is 5 o'clock. Okay, you're going to look down here. See these times down here? So look down there. Okay, so that's 1700 is 5 o'clock. 1800 is 6 o'clock. 1900 is 7 o'clock. And 2000 is 8 o'clock. Now, is that candlestick right there the low point of the night? Sure enough is. See it? Came down, and from there it started to rise up. Right? So last night, this projected cycle low, which was this green cycle, was right on to the exact hour. Okay, it isn't always that good, but it often is. Okay, that's great. That's awesome, right? That's super powerful, knowing that there's going to be some type of price decline down into here. Because you can trade that, right? You can get a sense for where you're going to, if you're going to, in this case, I would, this market's very bullish, so I would be cautious about shorting anything, but if you did want to short, you could. Or the better way to do this, since the market's so bullish still, is wait for this cycle low to finish and then go long as it comes out of this cycle low. And then just ride it, baby, for a huge bank. Okay. Pretty cool, right? You could even do both. If you're an aggressive trader, you could trade short all the way down into there and then go long there. Now, this isn't a perfect science and doesn't always work out this well, but so those are things you have to take into consideration, right? But anyway, I wanted to show you the 8 o'clock cycle low was spot on. Does it really say 8 o'clock there? Let's check. What's this say? Yep, 7:58 p.m. See that? We just rounded up to the nearest hour, okay? Okay, so that was last night. I wanted to show you that. Let's look at this. There's two cycle lows here. There's a 12 o'clock and a 1300. I just put the 12 up here, but it's down here, okay? It's just, there's only so much real estate on the chart, so it's hard to squeeze 12 o'clock down here and without it getting away the candlestick. So I just put it up there. But anytime you see these labels on here, that's talking about a cycle low. All right. So let's talk about this 12 o'clock, the green and yellow cycle lows that are right here. All right, you got a green one and a yellow one. Both coming down today. They came down at 12 o'clock CST time and 1300 CST time. All right, so I knew that last night. Okay. As I put in these labels in here last night, saw the cycle lows, I knew that way over here. At this point over here, I knew about these cycle lows over here. Just like I know about this one over here tomorrow and this one right here. Okay, but there's a difference with this event compared to these and these. Okay. I'm just going to pause here for just a brief moment. I want you to think about what is the difference between this and the other ones that you're seeing on here, the other green and yellow ones. Something different about this. Okay, time up. What's the difference? They're both happening at the same time. They're both within 1 hour of each other. This happens at 12. This happens at 1. In other words, they're very, very close to one another. Now, why is that a big deal? It's a big deal because when you get cycles like this coming together, usually the impetus, okay, or the size of the movement is very predictable. Okay, let me give you an example where it's not, we didn't get a really big decline. Look over here. Green cycle, you got nothing. You got this little dinky candlestick, which was a little late even. You see that? It showed up on the chart just as a little blip. Okay, it was a little bit late, probably like an hour late compared to what I have here. Right? That's still useful information, by the way. Because when I see something bullish like this, and I know the market might not pull down really hard, but I know there's going to be a pause in the market, so I just chill out and wait for it to go. See how it consolidated right there and it went back up? So even when the cycle lows are here and the market doesn't pull down hard, you often will see a pause. That's a really good sign. That's a bullish sign. You just get this one little red candlestick. It tried sideways and it goes again. Very bullish, yeah? That's helpful information. Okay, so getting back over to today, I'm at the $775 I made today. Well, I saw there was two cycle lows coming together, 12 and 1300, and I knew that somewhere in here was going to be a pretty good chance of going short. I decided to go short. Sure enough, we got the purple candlestick, which this is the Gettys Plus indicator, which right now I don't have turned on down here. Okay, I can turn it on. Let's turn it on so everybody knows what I'm talking about. Let's turn it on. GITTIS Plus. There it is right there. Okay, let me clear the screen. There it is. This is the GITTIS Plus indicator, this yellow one. And there's some logic in here that colors the candlestick purple when that happens. Okay, right in this area, I took a trade. I took a short side trade because I was pretty sure the market was going to pull down, just like the cycles suggested there was going to be. And it happened, started happening at what time is this? 11? 10 o'clock. This is 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And where was the low? You may not be able to see it. Let me move this label out of the way a little bit. Let me move it down, get out of the way. You see the bottom of this wick? Right here is the bottom of the wicks right there. This candlestick comes all the way down to this point right here. That's the lowest point. And when was it? Okay, just watch down here. When did this happen? 1300. Okay, the low of the day was 1300, and the second lowest part of the day was 12. What do you know? Right in alignment with what the cycles projected that was going to happen. That's a forecasting. So, the power of forecasting using cycle analysis sometimes is extremely powerful, right? And this is the hourly chart, but I also do it on the daily chart. Okay. Now the lower time frames, like the 15-minute, the 5-minute, you really can't draw cycles. It's you could try it. It's just not as predictable. But the hourly chart and the daily chart, they're very good. Okay. So I wanted to show that because if you're not a member, stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you how to become a member. Okay, and you can make use of these types of tools and things that are available in the membership. Okay, let's switch over to other charts. We'll talk about the daily, the weekly, and the trade of the day was kind of already exposed right here, but this is pretty much the trade of the day. We don't get GITTIS Plus indicators on the hourly chart too often. So when this one showed up right here, purple candlestick, GITTIS Plus, boom, I was in on it. Okay, really nice. And then, I was busy during the day after this trade. I couldn't really pay attention to the market, but look at this. Right afterwards, it took off again. Right, just right up out of this cycle low. So, I don't see any reason to change these. What I'll do every day is I review these cycles, make sure that they still look valid. I've been doing this for quite a few years, so I have an eye for figuring out where the cycles are. Okay, and if I see that there's a change or I might see a new cycle beginning to develop, I'll go ahead and speculate on that and forecast it out there. So that's why you see two cycles on here, green and yellow, because there's really two of them running simultaneously. All right, so anyway, there's a projected one from 4 a.m. in the morning. I don't know how strong it'll be. It's overnight. A lot of times, sometimes it'll be strong. Sometimes it'll just be a little weak one like this. Okay, and then there's one at midday tomorrow. I suspect it's going to be a pretty good pullback tomorrow, going into right in the middle of the session in intraday for the U.S. here at CST time. I suspect we're going to see a pullback down into this, but it may not be as strong because there's just one cycle lining up. But we'll keep an eye on that and we'll see. I think there'll be some kind of pullback or pause in the market at that time. Okay, let's do the rest of their charts. All right, here we are on the weekly chart, and the range of 60.75 really hasn't changed since yesterday. Though the market had a little bit of a bounce today, so this candlestick's kind of full and flush, but kind of a small candlestick. Not small like that one, but pretty small for weekly candlestick. That's not something that's that big. All right. Talked about the divergence. Okay, I'm expecting this thing to eventually begin to roll over and come down into this, kind of late March timeframe. What is this? I think this is March. What is this? March 31st? Yeah, it is March 31st. Okay. So I think this is March 1st. This one's April 7th, if I remember right. Yeah, April 7th. So I do expect price to decline down in this area. See, this is another example where two cycles are coming together. They're really close. The blue cycle, see it, and the green cycle both coming down. They're both, wherever the price is, it doesn't mean price is going to come all the way down here where the drawing is. That's just me. This is just an element of time. But let's just say it's way up here, and then expect it to come down. Who knows how far? I don't know yet. Okay. But because there's two cycles lining up together at the same time, this should be pretty powerful right here, this decline on the weekly chart. Okay, so keep those dates in mind. March 31st, April 7th. Okay, let's go to the daily. daily drawing setup here. Okay, here's today. The range was 33.25. That little guy right there. Okay, let me see if I can spread this out a little bit. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay. 33.25. Oh, you know what? Do I have the cycles on here? Yeah, I do. Okay. So there's a cycle here. This cycle way out here is March 19th. This one. And there's one March 11th. So March 19th. Let me put this on. Let's duplicate this. We'll put it over here for now. Okay. Change this to March 19th. Because I think of all of them, the March 19th on the daily chart here is the one that lines up best with the weekly. So this one way over here lines up best with the weekly. But there's some stuff going on here like second week of March that we got to pay attention to. So this whole area, second, third week of March, end of March, be kind of like over here. Okay, it's going to be this little area here, right? What is this one? March. Is this like March 8th or something? Okay, that is the 11th. The purple one is actually the 13th. They'll change this to the 13th. Okay. Change that to 13th. So there's 11th, the 13th, and the 19th. So this whole area here is, you know, hot spot. This lines up with the weekly. So I expect price to decline over into this area here. All right. Now, what are my thoughts for tomorrow? Well, become a member. The members are going to know my thoughts for tomorrow because I'm going to put it in the nightly email. All right. I mean, some days I'll let everybody know publicly what my thoughts are for tomorrow, but I'm not going to do it all the time because, you know, the members are paying. They're paying for a service, so, you know, I'm not going to give stuff away free every day. Okay. So my thoughts, if you want to know what my thoughts are for tomorrow, become a member. Okay. Let's look at the trade of the day. Okay, we're going to look at the 15-minute. We kind of already looked at that 1 hour. We did look at the 1 hour chart when I showed my profits for the 775. That was the first thing we looked at. We'll look at it just briefly, real quick after this. But this is a 15-minute chart, so we'll look at this for the trade of the day. There was two on here. This one's what we call kind of a pre-indicator. It's not the full-blown Gittes Plus indicator. I don't like trading these. As it turned out, it was very accurate. And the market took off there at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning. These two signals, one came in at 7 o'clock, the one came in at 7:30. It never really gave us this type of signal. It gave us what I call a pre-signal. I don't like to trade them, but it's nice to know that the logic thinks there's something coming. And it did happen. So, you know, look at this one over here. I wouldn't trade that, right? It's just, didn't really develop. Maybe we did get a little pullback here. Okay. Here's a pre-signal. It's saying it thinks that there's going to be a trade happening soon. Sure enough, it happened. Let's see, what time did this pre-signal come in? 12:45. And then the full-blown go ahead and get into the market happened at 1:45. So it was an hour later. And it got the purple candlestick and bam, well, that sucker took off. Really nice. On the 15-minute chart, okay? So I like this one the most because I tend to, just from looking at this Gittes Plus indicator over the last, I don't know, gosh, couple years, I guess I've had it now. It's been pretty good. So I wait. I like to wait for this little yellow candlestick. And then, of course, like I said, lately recently I added in the purple candlestick here. So you get the yellow triangle, you get the purple candlestick. I like this kind of signal. To me, it's a little bit more reliable. Sure, you might have given up a little bit of opportunity over here, but so what? Sometimes these green ones work out, sometimes they don't. I don't like taking that kind of chance. I wait for it to fully give me the signal, and then I do my thing. Okay. So this one right here, of all of them, on the 15-minute chart, this is the one I would have traded. I wouldn't have traded this. Yes, I would have missed out on this big, huge movement. Okay, definitely not trading that because that's pretty ugly. Just nothing going on here. So this is the one that stands out to me in this chart. Okay. Overnight, if you're kind of new to trading futures and you're looking at overnight session, yeah, just don't trade it. If you're not certain about it, don't trade it. Okay, there's some things about overnight that are really nice. It tends to be a little bit less volatile. So if you have a decent size account, okay, then small movements can make you pretty decent money. I mean, the scalps can be really nice. $100, $200, $300 scalps like fairly easily. Okay, if you have an account that can handle the position size. If you have a smaller retail account, then overnight may not be worth even doing because the movements aren't going to be really big enough for you to make a lot of money. Because in futures, of course, you still have to pay commissions unlike stock. So those are things you got to consider if you're going to trade overnight session on a really small account. That's fine. You could still do it. You just need to get out the spreadsheet and do your calculations and understand how much movement do you need to overcome your commissions and still be profitable, okay? But if you're, like I said, if your account size is pretty decent, then overnight can be really nice. I traded quite a bit. I might even trade it tonight. Well, it just depends, because you don't need a lot of movement to make some nice bank, okay? So there's kind of a threshold. I can't really say for sure is there a certain dollar threshold or account size threshold? You'll know when you get there. The math will tell you. You should really have your spreadsheet out and you should be doing math. You should be figuring out those kind of things. You should be spending some time doing that so you can decide whether or not the risk is worth it and whether or not your account can support your position sizes that you're looking to achieve, right? And your profit you're looking to achieve. Okay, let's look over the hourly chart, and we'll finish up the video here. So we're still talking about the trade of the day. That was a really nice one, the 15-minute chart. Okay. Okay, we had looked at that at the beginning of the video, but that's okay. We'll look at it real quick again. 1 hour chart. Here was the trade of the day as far as I'm concerned. This one wasn't bad either, but this is the one that really stood out to me the most. This is the one I was waiting on. I was thinking about this trade all the way from over here yesterday, literally from last night at 5 o'clock. I was just, I didn't touch anything in the market and said 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, my time, CST time, I was definitely looking to do a short side trade down into this, and I did. Okay, and sure enough, it even showed up. It even showed up here. We got the Get Us Plus alert, or the Get Us Plus indication came in on the Get Us Plus indicator at 10 a.m. Got the purple candlestick. I think I took a short side trade somewhere in this purple candlestick or at the very beginning of this next one over here. I don't remember, somewhere right in here. I remember for a fact it was 49.17, and I think it was a quarter is when I got in. Okay. Now, how high did this thing get up to? It got all the way at 11 o'clock. It got all the way up to 24 and a quarter, so I had to wait. Think about that. What's 24 minus 7? Well, 7, right? So that was 7 points. I had to kind of wait out for this thing to go up. After it got into the purple candlestick, went up another 7 points. So that's, for me, in my position size, that was $700. Okay, working against me. The position was still open, but I was running an unrealized loss of $700. Okay, for a lot of people, that might be a big deal. For other people, they just, no problem. It's part of trading. You just let it do its thing. Sure enough, it made good. And I got a little impatient in this trade. I think I got out around, I can't remember. At that time, I think it was 40. Yeah, it was 49.05 at that time as well. I think I got out about 49.08. I got a little impatient and cut it loose. I was busy. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. It did eventually make its way all the way down to 48.96. My goodness, look at this number right here. Let's see if we can get this to work. 48.96. Look at that. Wow. So anyway, that's the two trades today, the 15-minute chart and the 1 hour chart. Super nice. Today was perhaps a little more predictable than normal, far as the expected significant price decline. Okay, so you stuck around the end of the video. You want to become a member. That's great. There is a link in the description in this YouTube video. So you got to be on YouTube to see the description. So below the video, you're going to see a description, and there's some instructions in there. And make sure you read those instructions very carefully. And then there's a link for the Discord server. Okay, once you've read the instructions and you're sure you're okay with what you're reading, you understand it, click on the Discord server link. It's going to bring you over to Get a Server. This is where all the membership takes place on this server. Once you come onto the server, you're going to click on Server Shop. It's going to bring you to this page right here. $7.99, guys. Guys and gals, $7.99. Seriously, it's coin. It's coin, and I think I'll talk about what comes with membership here in a moment. But I actually believe if you're just patient and don't come into the membership, trying to find the gold pot at the end of the rainbow on day one, if you're just patient, I think eventually you'll make some good money using the membership. Okay. So let's talk about what comes with membership. And I showed you the streaming charts today, right? I showed them separately, but when you join, you click on this channel down here, S&P 500 streams, you're going to get 3 charts all at once on the screen. Okay, you'll get the 5 minute, the 15 minute, and the 1 hour. They each have the Get Us Plus indicator on there, and you have the little purple candlestick will be there whenever the Get Us Plus indicator indicates that there might be a trade. Okay, I usually keep some simple moving averages on there as well on those charts. I keep the 24-hour moving average, simple moving average on all the charts. That's very nice moving average. The market will gravitate to that quite frequently. And then on there as well is on the hourly chart, as I showed, the cycles. Remember the 12 o'clock and 1300 cycles? So that's on the hourly charts. That's really nice. So you get the 3 streaming charts with the membership. Now, when the Get Us Plus indicator indicates that there might be a trade, it sends an alert over to this channel here, S&P 500 alerts channel. Okay, which is really nice. So if you're not watching the stream because you're busy, you could still load this Discord app on your phone. Let's say it can be loaded on a PC desktop, Windows desktop, a laptop, a mobile device. Okay. So you can even load the Discord on your mobile device. As a matter of fact, I had a member recently ask me, hey, I like it. The Discord works great on my PC, but how can I get alerts when I'm, can I get a text message or something when I'm away from the computer? And I just let them know you can just download and install this Discord app onto your phone. Okay. So even when you're away, you can still get the alerts. Super nice. And then you can look at your phone and say, oh, an alert came in. Let me look at the charts real quick. Do I want to trade? Do I not want to trade? All right. And then there's alerts that come in for these products as well. Gold, crude oil, top 30 stocks for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And there's some daily alerts that go along with these stock alerts. Okay. Now, these don't have streaming charts. Okay, but they do have alerts. Only the S&P 500 has the streaming charts. You can't stream everything. So it'd be crazy to stream all this, right? But so you get the stream with the S&P 500 and the alerts that go with it. But on this, you just get alerts, okay? And then premium symbols. Every day I put in the premium symbols in here. There could be as much as 4 files in there. Sometimes there might only be 2 or 3. Depends what kind of day it is in the market. But there'll be future symbols in there. Like sometimes, I think today I saw gasoline futures in there and some other ones. I think there were some currency futures going on in there as well. Okay. And there's symbols in there for optionable stocks. There's symbols in there for symbols that look like they might be getting ready to be shorted. And I think there's some industry symbols in there. Okay, so up to 4 files with the symbols, really nice. Okay, currency. Like I said, I trade futures quite a bit. If I see something in the futures I like, you might see me trading currency from time to time. Okay, if I do, I'll put it in this channel. Okay, the Get Us Only Post channel. This is a read-only channel. You can go in there, but you can't really post anything in there. This is my channel. I put the video link, like the video I'm doing right now. I'll put a link in this channel. So all the members at the end of each day, you can go check the link and watch the video. Okay, I recommend you watch it. Well, if you're a member already, it's not a big deal. If you're not a member, you want to watch it on YouTube because the instructions to join are on the bottom of the video. Okay. Also in here, I just post, hey, the nightly emails. Whenever I send out the nightly emails, I'll let everybody know I put it in this channel. So speaking of the nightly emails, if you want to get on the email list every night, put your email into this emails only channel and I'll pick it up. Okay. And I send out an email every night In the email, you get a daily chart of the S&P 500, which has cycles on there as well. So there's cycles on the daily chart as well for the S&P 500. And usually I'll have some type of support or resistance lines on there as well, okay? So that's really nice nightly. Some people just, that's all they want. They just want the nightly email. They don't look at the streaming charts. They just want this. They're busy. They just want an email every night, okay? They're more investors maybe, and not quite as, they have kind of an investor mentality rather than a trader mentality, and that's fine. You know, you can use the emails and, you know, to kind of guide you along, okay? Solar activity, yep, I do watch that. We won't dive too deep into that right now, but that has a bearing on a lot of things that go on the face of the earth, including the marketplace. Okay, fixed income. I do trade corporate bonds from time to time. Usually I just buy them and I hold them to maturity. If I do, I'll put them in here. Okay. Fixed income is nice, guys and gals, especially if you're in a 401k or an IRA, because any interest you earn on those corporate bonds, you don't pay taxes on them in those type of accounts. So if you have a 401k or an IRA, you know, you might want to consider, this is my opinion only now, you might want to consider corporate bonds as part of your portfolio, because that's a nice way to just bolster up your account. Okay. So if I have like extra cash, okay, just a hypothetical, I'm not gonna let it just sit in my brokerage account. I'm gonna make use of it. I put it into corporate bonds, and then I can leverage those corporate bonds for trading on margin. Okay, does that make sense? So think about that. Okay, S&P 500 channel. This is where a lot of the chat takes place. There's some people, a lot of us trade the S&P 500 or individual stocks. Some people trade the NASDAQ. It's fine. There's a lot of chat going on this channel. Also, there's some chat that goes on in member chat. So all of this, everything in this big old rectangle comes with a membership for $7.99 a month. Okay, like I said before, if you're patient and you know, spend a month or two or three, I mean, spend $25 on yourself, right? Invest in yourself. I know that sounds a little cliche, but seriously, spend $25 on yourself for 3 months. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry. Learn how to use the service. Watch the videos every day. Watch like I did in this video, watch how I do the trade of the day. Try to understand it. You know, I would maybe do some paper trades with that, but eventually do some really small position. See if it works out for you. Just keep it super small until you get good at it, and then eventually maybe you can start increasing your position size. That's my opinion about how you might want to approach this, okay? If you're a veteran trader and you're really good and you're already making a lot of money, okay, then do your thing. But for beginners, okay, that might be a good idea to do that, right? Listen, the worst you're going to get is you spend $8 and you hate the service. Okay, it doesn't break the bank, right? General channel over here, this is just, there's no services in there. This is the only one open up to the public. It's just kind of a hello, welcome to the server kind of channel. Okay, lastly, the rules. Please read the rules, very important. And here's rules about please be nice to everybody else on the server. Okay, I don't tolerate nasty stuff on the server. If I see anybody posting nasty pictures or saying nasty things or being disrespectful, I'm going to warn you. If you keep doing it, you're going to get kicked. And if you still keep doing it, you're going to get banned, okay? So don't force me to be the bad guy, but I will be if I have to, okay? I keep the server clean. All right, also in here is the refund rules, and there's a disclaimer in there that I'm not a financial advisor, guys and gals. I only give my opinion. All this is just my opinion, okay? You do with it as you see fit, okay? But I don't give advice. All right, I think that pretty much covers it. Again, if you want to join, click on the Discord link that's below this video on YouTube. It's going to bring you over to this server right here, then click on server shop, then come to this, it's going to give you this page, and you just click on subscribe and go through the payment process, all right? All right, guys and gals, happy trading, everybody. God bless everybody. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.